Let's start off with Ivan Barbashev at 61% available.
Yes, Ivan Barbashev. It's weird. He's been kind of ignored, it seems, by fantasy owners, considering his role hasn't changed. It's not like he got kicked off the top line in Vegas. He's still on the Stanley Cup winning first line with Jack Eichel, Jonathan Marchessault. And I think it's probably because he's got a relatively uninspiring season-long stat line, 5 goals, 12 points, 29 games. Obviously, you expected a lot more than that. But he's only scoring on 10.6% of his shots. And that's very important information specifically to Barbashev because he is traditionally an incredibly accurate shooter. He's had 3 different seasons where he shot over 23%. So 10 is extremely low for him. That's going to positively regress for sure. He's still the first line left winger. He still plays power play 2, and he's heating up 6 points in his last 6 games, and he's still averaging almost 2 hits per game as well. So always valuable in banger formats. I think it's time to get back on the Barbashev train if you got off it.
Okay. This one here, medium pickup of the week. I did not think I'd ever see Mikael Granlund ever be named as another guy to pick up, but 69% available right now.
That's right. 69%. Very nice. Mikael Granlund. And it's weird. I'm not saying this is going to last. I even wrote, none of this makes sense. But you have to ride the wave at this point because 14 points in his last 8 games. If anyone gets 14 points in an 8-game stretch, they need to be immediately picked up in fantasy just to see where this goes. And you have to remember, Mikael Granlund, he's been maligned as sort of a bust in terms of, okay, Pittsburgh got him as a trade deadline acquisition last year. It was a disaster. But if you look at the entire scope of his career, this was one of the greatest prospects ever to come out of Finland. He was extremely hyped, first-round pick, and not without talent. He has 3 different seasons where he had 60-plus points. So he has the ability to go off for certain spurts of time. It's not like he's got hands of stone. And he's currently the number 2 center on a San Jose team that's playing better lately. He's centering the top power play unit. He's centering the top penalty killing unit as well. He's playing so much because he's an all situations type of player, has a good hockey IQ. So he's averaging more than 20 minutes a game. So just based on that volume, he's still going to be accumulating, even if the scoring rate goes way down. Like this could be another 50 or 60 point season when all is said and done. So that makes him rosterable right now, even if he's not going to continue this gangbusters run.
Okay. In the Deep League pickup of the week, Jason Zucker, 91% available.
Yes, Jason Zucker. I just added him. I sound like I said Zucker. I added him in my own league. I just sort of noticed, hey, what's he doing out there? He's available in 91% of leagues. And that's surprising considering he is playing on the first line with Clayton Keller and Nick Schmaltz now. 4 points in his last 3 games. We've seen in recent seasons with Barrett Hayton, whoever's on that line, it's a very important and juicy fantasy role. And I guess if I'm trying to understand why he's sort of been abandoned on the waiver wire in so many leagues, I guess it's because he missed 7 out of Arizona's 26 games so far. So his overall stat line isn't very impressive. But now we have the rule change. This guy got 27 goals last year. And he randomly, for a guy who's not particularly rough and tumble, had 197 hits last year. I don't know if he can keep up that pace, but he is at better than a hit per game. So it seems like he's still going to keep laying the body out there. And now he's playing in a really great situation. So this could be quite a valuable little piece for at least the next little while. And I think he needs to be owned in far more than 9% of leagues.
Okay, I like that. And this one, WTF pickup of the week, the goalie that was supposed to be Toronto's starting goalie at the beginning of the year, Ilya Samsonov, 29% available. Obviously, now that Joseph Woll injured, that becomes an interesting situation for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes, obviously is the word. It's sort of a straightforward situation. Joseph Woll's out, high ankle sprain. Sammy's back in there, and he obviously has a massive opportunity to deliver major fantasy value for at least a short period of time. He was a top 10 fantasy goalie last year, 919 save percentage. And we know it's been a struggle for him, a little bit health, but I think mainly mentally this year. But this is a great situation for a goalie who has had troubles with their confidence. I call it like the backup quarterback situation. You come in as the savior, and the pressure is different. When you're coming in just to help because someone got hurt, the expectation that comes with it is not as high as if you're being dependent upon to be the number one. It's the same environment in which Jack Campbell thrived with the Leafs when he was coming in to relieve Frederik Andersen. As soon as Campbell was asked to be the guy, that's when he kind of struggled. So in this situation, you have Sammy coming in to a relatively low pressure environment. He still has Martin Jones, very experienced guy on the team to back him up as well. And we're already seeing signs that it's going to work with Samsonov. Got a shutout in his last game, 3 really strong performances in his last 3 outings. So it's possible that this is a bit of a boon for the Leafs, assuming Joseph Woll isn't out too long. If it can kind of activate Samsonov confidence, and then you have a really strong tandem again down the road, it's good for the team and for you in fantasy. It just means Samsonov is someone you can ride and might be able to really help you, especially in the wins category in the short term.